Hello my friends and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to prepare a carne guisada, which is stew beef. One of my favorite growing up. And my mom used to actually fix this dish for us and it was so delicious. It just brings me so much fun memories. But anyhow, mine is going to be like a drunken stew beef because I'm going to be adding some beer and some wine. Trust me, it's going to give this beef such an incredible flavor. So with that said, this dish definitely holds a special place in my heart. And of course, my friends, I love cooking with cilantro. You guys know I like my cilantro, my garlic, and my onion. That's like my all-time favorite. Anyhow, the cilantro is something I actually like to wash it really well and put it in a glass jar with water in the refrigerator because it lasts so much longer this way. It's always ready when I need it. I'm going to be using my favorite type of beef, which is Angus beef. And this is actually chuck roast. And I'm actually using about 4 pounds because I bought 2 chuck roast, about 2 pounds each. We're going to need a can of peeled tomatoes. Of course, we're going to have our adobo, our completo, which is a complete seasoning. We're going to do some, of course, beer, and we have sofrito, and I'm going to add about 6 ounces of wine, and of course, my wine as well. Got some beef stock, and of course, your onions, garlic, cilantro, carrots, potato, olives, and I'm going to be using some fancy red pimientos as well. There's more ingredients, my friends, which I am going to list for you all when I upload the video. Now we're going to go ahead and cut our beef in nice little chunks this way. Just follow me, my friends. So easy. Now, I like to use this type of cut because it has some, don't judge me, please, F-A-T, fat. Yes, I said it, my friends, some fat. This is going to really give this to, oh my goodness, such a delicious flavor. So what I do is I try to remove some of the fat because we don't want a greasy stew beef. And I actually, at the end, what I do is I remove some of the grease. And hey, listen, I know this recipe in particular, it's not for everyone, okay? So if you haven't tried this, I have to say this, you're missing out. I am going to be using my Martha Stewart Dutch oven. I think it's so pretty. I've been trying to keep this so clean. You can actually use your pressure cooker or you can use a slow cooker as well. So I'm going to go ahead and season my beef. And my friends, I am using some adobo and some completo, which is complete seasoning. I really think this complete seasoning is best. I use it chicken, with beef, even in my soup. It's just so delicious. Anyhow, you gotta try sometime. I'm just gonna be adding also a little bit of oil and just a little bit, my friends, because remember, this meat already has a lot of fat and I added some oil as well to my Dutch oven. I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands dirty, my friends, and we're gonna mix this nicely. We wanna make sure all these dry seasoning marinate this beef, okay? And I am going to sear the meat because this is key. This is key if you want some juicy stew meat. So be patient. This is gonna take a while, and it's gonna take a while because not only does it has a lot of ingredients, there's some few steps, and it's gonna take about 3 hours to cook if you want that nice tender stew beef. So be patient, my friend. It's going to be worth the wait. Now, this is key. This is the time where you're going to be adding your garlic. And I'm using a lot of garlic. I think I did about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. this is going to give this stew meat such a delicious flavor. This took about, I want to say, maybe 6 to 7 minutes. You know, it really depends on your stove. And I'm using a Dutch oven, so it gets hot really, really quick. Okay, so once your meat is nicely browned, you're going to go ahead and add your onions and your bell pepper. I'm using a whole onion, and I'm using half of a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper. It doesn't matter the color. That's just me, my friends. And we're gonna mix this around again nicely. And again, this is a recipe that takes some time and some steps, but worth the wait. I'm gonna add the olives. We're not olives people, but you know what? It gives this to meat a great flavor as well. I'm using some fancy pimiento and the juices for that extra flavor. You can actually cut the fancy pimientos. I am gonna do so as I mix this around. I'm gonna be adding my sofrito now. I did about 2 tablespoons of sofrito. And I have a can of peeled tomatoes. Key right here. And of course, I have a can of beer. It don't matter, whatever beer you fancy. I have about 3 cups of beef broth. And then I'm going to add about 6 ounces of wine. And this right here, I'm going to say this, my friends, is key. I'm going to be adding my beef bouillon. And I'm going to be adding as well my bay leaf and my Sazón and Goya for a little coloring. I'm going to be adding my cilantro, and then this is going to cook for a good 10 minutes because I want to come back and make sure that I don't need to add any seasoning such as salt or even some of the complete seasoning. I'm going to be adding a little bit of more of my completo, which is my complete seasoning. A little bit of salt, and I am gonna do a dash of oregano at the end. And this is going to cook for about 2.5 hours because I still have to add the potatoes and the carrots. And you wanna do this at the end because you don't wanna overcook your potatoes or the carrots, okay? So we're gonna do this at the end. I'm gonna be serving my stew beef with some tostones, aguacate, and some jasmine white rice. And of course, I'm gonna sip on my wine while I wait. Now it's time to add our potatoes and carrots. Now guys, be very careful. I had this on a medium-high temperature. I had to lower my temperature because these Dutch ovens get hot real quick and you don't want to burn this meat. Okay, this is so beautiful. Just look at this. Look at all the colors. So delicious. Now this is the time to fry my tostones because this stew beef is ready. Now, how easy was this, my friends? Yes, a few steps and a good list of ingredients, but trust me, it's worth every minute. The flavors are amazing. And my friends, whether you're cooking this for your family, for yourself, or a friend, I honestly think this is the best stew beef you'll ever taste. Until next time, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell so you guys don't miss out on videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.